I am for sure going to get flagged. I cannot believe I'm doing this. Oh, Mussolini, seriously? Hello, everybody, and welcome to Speaker Breakdown. Every episode, I find a speech online, I break it down, tell you what they're doing well, what they could improve, and how we can use this information to make our next speech even better. And today, oh goodness, for better or worse, we are going to be breaking down Dwight Schrute from The Office's speech, based, oh my God, almost word for word, and this is the joke, on a speech by Mussolini. Oh, YouTube's going to flag me for sure. But anyway, let's jump right into it and see what's going on. Here we go.
Good luck. That is a tough crowd.
So first of all, if you wanted to communicate confidence, and the part of the joke is that he's scared to death, if you would have looked at the audience, then he would have looked very confident. So let's see how he moves in. A joke.
Blood alone moves the wheels of history.
Okay, so one of the things that I like about what he did there was, and here's something we can use for our advantage, is starting off with something completely unexpected. Sometimes it's a loud noise. If you watch these Toastmaster speeches, like, the World Championship of Public Speaking, it's always a gimmick. They always start with a gimmick, some sort of like a prop, like a flower or a picture or something like that. And this is another way of doing that kind of gimmick opening with boom, 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 to instantly put people in a different mind state and a different energy. If you didn't want to go crazy, like if you're doing a more formal speech, how can you do this? Well, it can start very easily by asking people in the audience to do something, or by asking a question that seems disconnected to your topic. Let's keep going.
Have you ever asked yourselves in an hour of meditation, which everyone finds during the day?
Okay, another thing he's doing very well here is, after bringing the energy up, having a strong pause and then bringing your energy down. Because as a speaker, I'm telling you this, the trap you fall into is you're trying to be high energy all the time and from the beginning. If you start at a 10, you have nowhere to go but down. So what Dwight did, he started at a 10, paused, brought it down to like a 5, and watch as he slowly builds up, because that's where he has to go now, is up. And that's something we can use to our advantage.
8. How long we have been striving for greatness. Not only the years we've been at war, the war of work, but from the moment.
My God, Mussolini speech. I love that little phrase, the war of work. Because one thing that I always advocate is, as a speaker, you need to have an underlining message, that one walk-away statement, because most people are only going to remember one thing you said. And the best way to help them remember that one thing, the best way to help them remember your idea, is to give them a little catchy phrase that you can repeat throughout your presentation. And I'm hoping we will hear the war at work, or the war of work, throughout this presentation.
We realized that the world could be conquered. It has been a lifetime struggle, a never-ending fight, I say to you, and you will understand that it is a privilege to fight.
Okay, one thing that he's doing that we could also take here is, if you start off with something like a prop or a gimmick, which we've already talked about, repeating it throughout the presentation in the same way that you can repeat your little catchy phrase throughout the presentation acts as a memory anchor. In stand-up comedy, they use a callback. It's when you reference something you did before to keep people, to remind people of an idea, or to keep people with you in terms of communicating that idea. Nice pause.
We are warriors! Salesman of northeastern Pennsylvania, I ask you, once more rise and be worthy of this historical hour.
The more fun you have on stage, the more fun everyone else will have on stage. And I was recently talking with a client, and they were really wanting to be very formal. thinking that their super high level executives are going to want formality. But if you ever see a really good high level executive, they're usually the most casual one in the room. They're the ones having fun. I was recently in a conference that I was hosting where they had like the entire like board of directors of a very large bank in the room. And every single one of them was super casual. They were smiling, laughing, making little jokes. And that's what made them not only look confident, but it gave permission for everyone else in the room to chill out, relax, and have that same kind of energy. And for better or worse, that's what Dwight is doing, baby. Let's go.
Solution is worth anything unless it can defend itself.
Call back, right?
They'll conjure up images of used car dealers and door-to-door charlatans.
So as Dwight is saying this, one of the things that is a tactic we can copy is using specific examples to communicate our idea. Car salesman, right? Dirty word. When you say these things, it makes people imagine it versus describing it.
This is our duty to change their perception. I say, salesmen and women of the world, unite. We must never acquiesce, for it is together that we prevail. We must never cede control of the motherland.
Oh, this is knowing where this comes from makes it all so cringy. And I guess that's the brilliance of this scene. Nothing to add. Just, wow. I can't believe they put this on TV.
For it is together that we prevail.
And this is another great thing that's happening here is as often as possible, you don't have to get them to repeat after you because sometimes that can be cheesy or inappropriate, but getting your audience to do something, whether it's a show of hands, whether it's talking to each other, the more you get your audience to do things, the more you will keep them engaged. That's how he's communicating an idea and keeping that underlining theme going. So for example, here's how that works. In a week from there, suppose everyone goes back to their offices and someone goes, boom, boom, boom. Everyone will know exactly what they're doing. By repeating it throughout his speech, he's made it a memory anchor. We can use a physical action or a phrase, but if you can make that little memory anchor, boom, you are way more likely to be remembered. It is way more likely that people will remember and discuss your ideas. So, for better or worse, that was a speaker breakdown. Dwight Schrute from The Office, using Mussolini to get the crowd pumped. Hey, communication's communication, and it's sort of like the Force. There's the light and there's the dark, and how you use it is up to you. But sometimes we can take the things from the dark side and use them for good. Thank you for joining me. We'll see you on the next Speaker Breakdown.